Hey guys, what's going on? Joe Marin here for Mobile Cup of Joe, and in today's episode of Mobile Cup of Joe, we're going to be reviewing the Google and Asus Nexus 7 tablet. So guys, I do apologize for this review not getting out until now. I had meant to get this review out about a month ago, but with Freshly Brewed and everything, I've been pretty busy and I did not get a break to film this until just now. But before we go any further, please go ahead and grab that coffee cup, fill it up, bring it over, and sit on down. Take a big old swig for your Mobile Cup of Joe. So to start out our Nexus 7 review, we are going to be talking about the design of the Nexus 7. So on the front of the device, we have our 1.2 megapixel front-facing camera. Just below that, we have our 7-inch 1280 by 800 IPS display. On the very bottom of the device, we have our micro USB syncing / charging port. And to the right of that, we have our 3.5mm headphone jack. Going to the top of the device, we have one of the two microphone pinholes. Turn the device to the right, we have a power / lock button, and also below that, a volume rocker. Both are spaced out really well and have really great response to them, and I never felt that I was accidentally hitting one button when I meant to hit the other, and I always felt like I could just put my hand there without having to look and see where the button was, because they are raised enough off the device where you can just slide your hand over and feel what button is which. So I really like that aspect of the device. On the left side, we have got yet another microphone pinhole right there, and next to that we have a 4-pin dock connector. And going to the back of the device, we have a Nexus logo here, a Asus logo here, and the back is actually plastic but has this nice rubbery feel to it, and it feels really great when you're holding the device in one hand and using the other hand to operate the screen, and it feels really great in your hand. You know, you can set it on a table and without having to worry about it sliding off, because it just feels like it has a really good grip to it. And below the Asus logo, we have our audio bar, which actually delivers some really great sound and audio, and actually pretty loud, much louder than I expected. And we'll get to that a little bit later in the review as well. And around the Nexus logo here is the NFC chip, which allows you to use Android Beam to send photos and videos and all that other fun types of content to another Android Beam enabled device, and also allows you to use a Google Wallet to make purchases with your NFC capabilities. So overall, I really liked the design of the Nexus 7. Like I said, it's not going to win over any hearts for being revolutionary, but it's very simple and it gets the job done, and it gets the job done right for that fact. Now next for the review is build quality. So when I got the Nexus 7, I was a little worried because I had heard some complaints about people saying that they were experiencing dead pixels on the device and that the adhesive glue that held the bezel and the screen together was coming apart. Thankfully, myself, I have not had any of those issues personally, but my heart does go out to everyone who has had those issues. But for this version, or my model of the Nexus 7 anyways, I have not had any hardware issues to speak of. On the back here, you probably cannot see it, but there are a couple teeny little scratches. That's just because, though, of me being clumsy with my device and dropping it. But from the drops that it has had, not that it has had many, but from what it has gone through, it's held up quite well. I've had this device for about a month now, and to me anyways, it still looks brand new, and considering the way that I handle my electronic devices, it's saying something. So the build quality in Nexus 7 is really good. I feel that it's very durable, and I really do like I said, the build quality of it. For this thing to survive a month of me using it and still looking this great, if you know how I handle my electronic devices, this really is a testament to how well Google made the device. So I gotta give it a really good rating for the build quality, because it's very sturdy and, you know, can survive a drop or two from not too far of a height, and it can pretty much withstand any day's journeys. So next up in the review is the hardware of the Nexus 7. So under the hood of this bad boy, we have got a quad-core 1.3 GHz NVIDIA Tegra 3 processing chip, and it can handle anything you throw at it. You know, just from swiping through screens and everything is really fast, and it really is a testament to how well NVIDIA makes their Tegra 3 processing chips. And to show you the true power of this device, let's load up a game like Dead Trigger, and just to show you how well this device can handle the modern games of today. I'll just let that load up. So you can see it looks really good. I'm terrible at this game, but you know, everything runs really smooth. You can pop some shots, and everything just runs really smoothly. And since this device does have NVIDIA's Tegra 3 chip, you're going to get a lot of those special NVIDIA Tegra 3 effects, like in Riptide GP. You get those little splashy effects, and with Dead Trigger, you get like those water effects and ragdoll effects when you do kill an enemy. So having the NVIDIA Tegra 3 chip really helps out with the performance, and also especially gaming performances with the device. So it handles everything really nicely, as you can see. And also, the screen is a 1280 by 800 IPS display, and everything looks really great. The colors on this device look absolutely gorgeous. This might not look, or probably, I know it's not going to look as good through a camera lens as it does in real sight, but the colors on this device are really great. Everything is super sharp. The text is really crisp, and everything just looks really great. It's obviously not going to be as good as Apple's Retina displays, but a 1280 by 800 IPS display really is very accurate and very detailed. And overall, I'm really impressed with how the screen quality looks. You can see, just how crisp the text and the colors and everything are. And overall, I was actually pleasantly surprised with the Nexus 7. So just kind of get a look for yourself. Like I said, not going to look the best through a camera lens, but colors and text and everything is very crisp on this device, and just looks really great. Now, the device also has Bluetooth and GPS capabilities. I've used a keyboard to sync this up, a Bluetooth and capable keyboard with the device, and it worked flawlessly. I didn't have any issues to speak of, and I also used the GPS a little bit with it. I had not used it a whole lot, but from what I've used with the GPS and the Bluetooth, everything worked perfectly fine and really great, actually. And also, like I said, with the audio on this device, the audio bar sounds really great. So let's find a song here so I can just show you guys a quick little test of how good the audio does sound. I don't know, what do you guys want to listen to? Let's pick some Frank Sinatra. Who doesn't like him? Sounds really good, as you can tell.
It happened in Monterey.
So, like I said, everything sounds really good. Let's skip ahead a little bit. So, the sound just sounds really great if you're watching a YouTube video or just listening to music on Google Music. Everything sounds really great.
Monterey. A long time ago, I met her in Monterey.
Alright, so you can kind of get an idea from that how well the sound is. So, like I said, the screen and processing speeds in the audio bar are all superb on the Nexus 7. So also with the Nexus 7, like I said, we have a front-facing 1.2 megapixel camera, which is really good for taking profile pictures for your social networking sites such as Google+, Twitter, Facebook, etc. And it's also really great for doing front-facing video conferencing chats. So next up in the review is battery life. So Google, when they announced the Nexus 7, they were promising, I think it was around like 9 or 10 hours of battery. Right now, if you go into the settings and check the battery, as of right now, I have 41% battery remaining. And I don't know if you guys can see that it's been running for 8 hours, 10 minutes, and 13 seconds, which is really great. For more than 8 hours of use and still 41% remaining, that's awesome. Granted, I've been using this device kind of lightly. I've just been using it recently for, listening to Pandora, checking my Evernote, writing up some documents on Google Drive, checking news on Pulse and Google Currents, texting my friends with Text Plus, checking the weather on Weather Channel, playing some light games like Cannonball to HD and Spirits and Spaghetti and Marshmallows, Dragonfly Free and all that stuff. So I haven't really been playing any graphically intense games or streaming a whole lot of video to it, but it's still run really great. When I use the device really lightly for just pretty much web browsing, Pandora, and reading ebooks, I honestly got like almost 15 hours of battery life. So average battery life though for me has been pretty much 10 hours just in general and on a regular basis, and that's awesome, especially for mobile devices in their current state of this day and age. 10 hours may not sound like a whole lot, but it's actually really great, and especially when you consider the price of this device, which we will get to later. But overall, I was actually very impressed with the battery and how long it lasted, and really I could go through not a full week, but about 3 days, at the max 4, without having to charge this device, which is really great and really adds to the portability-ness of the device. You can take it with you for a few days or a couple days and not have to worry about bringing your charger along and charging it. And next up, we've got software. So the Google Nexus 7 ships with Android 4.1 Jelly Bean out of the box, and Android 4.1 Jelly Bean brings along a host of new features. We're not going to dive into all those in this video though. If you want to check out my list of my top 5 favorite features in it though, there should be an annotation somewhere up here. If there is not, there will be a link in the description below, but there should be an annotation right here. One of the main features though with 4.1 is Project Butter, which really just quickens everything up for the Android platform. Before, we would have that really irritating Android lag. That is completely gone with 4.1, and we can slide through our widgets and apps, everything, with no lag at all, and it just really adds to the fun factor of the device, and really just makes it feel like a very well-made device. And I'm hoping that this draws more attention to the Android platform, because right now it's basically as smooth as iOS has ever been. And like I said, that Android lag, with that being fully gone, it's my dream come true, and Google really hit it out of the park with Android 4.1. And with the Nexus 7 being a Nexus branded device, it is pretty much guaranteed to get the latest updates to Android for the next few years, which really adds to the value of this device. So if you're like me and you constantly want to have the latest and greatest version of the Android operating system, this is going to be the best device for you, and as of right now, the only choice in tablets to get if you want to be guaranteed the latest updates to the Android operating system. So having that guarantee of getting the latest updates to Android really, for me anyways, adds to the value of it. And just with features like Project Butter and everything, really add, like I said, to the great value of this device. So overall, features like Project Butter to the mix and the guaranteed versions, guaranteed to get upgraded to the latest and greatest version of Android, it gets harder and harder to say no to this device. And as we draw to a close, we are going to be talking about the overall value of the device. So the Nexus 7, for this model I have, it's the 8GB model. It only costs $199, and if you want to get more memory, you can get a 16GB version of this tablet for $250, and that is a killer price. When you consider the specs such as the 1.3 GHz quad-core NVIDIA Tegra 3 processor, Android 4.1, guaranteed to get the latest and greatest updates to Android, the audio bar, the 1280 by 800 IPS display, front-facing 1.2 megapixel camera, the list goes on and on, people. NFC, Bluetooth, GPS. This thing has more add-ons and more features than any tablet in this price range, and it just adds to the overall value really quick. This tablet feels like, to me anyways, a $500+ tablet, and you're getting it for $200. It's an absolute steal, and I would be surprised if we didn't see some sales on this from Google as the holiday shopping season comes along. But it just feels like a $500 tablet, and you can get it for $200. You would be pretty much doing yourself a terrible thing to not pick up this device, because you're paying like practically nothing when you consider all the things you're getting with this Nexus 7. And that brings us to my final verdict of the device. So overall, as you can tell, I'm sure, I am extremely pleased with the Nexus 7. I was at first a little concerned with those hardware issues with the dead pixels and the adhesive glue not working like it should, but once you get your hands on this Nexus 7, once you turn that lock screen on and you unlock it, you know that you're going to have a really great time. The Nexus 7 just feels like a super fun tablet to use. It feels, in my opinion anyway, more fun than an iPad or any other Android tablet I have yet to use. Something about the Nexus 7 just screams fun. It's all about the content for the user, and you can really see that with the way Google lays this out. And you can tell that both Asus and Google put a lot of time and effort into this device. And like I said, for $200, you're practically getting this thing for free when you consider all of the awesome, great tablet features you're getting, quad-core processors and all that. So to say no to the Nexus 7, you'd be really doing yourself a terrible thing. Nexus 7 is an awesome gadget. I use this thing all the time. I use it to type up my scripts for the Mobile Cup of Joe shows. I use it to listen to Pandora for music. I use it to look up news for the Mobile Cup of Joe shows on Pulse and Google Currents. This device is just freaking awesome. You can even use it with Text Plus to text your friends and call people. I know other tablets can do that, but it just feels much more better on the Nexus 7. It feels more polished and just overall a better experience. So guys, if you can't tell, I'm giving the Nexus 7 a 10 out of 10. This is by far the best Android tablet, and by far the best tablet in general I have yet to use and especially own. So guys, there you go, my full review of the Android Google and Asus Nexus 7 tablet, 10 out of 10. Do you guys agree with me? Do you disagree with me? That's our question of the week. Comment below and let me know what you think of the Google and Asus Nexus 7 tablet. And if you liked the video, please go ahead, hit the like button if you liked it. It takes 1 second to do so. It really helps support the show. And if you want to show your support towards the show even more, go ahead and hit the subscribe button somewhere at the top of your screen. 2 clicks with your mouse or finger, and you're going to show your support towards the show so much. And if you want to stay in touch some more, you can follow me on Twitter, where I am at J_Mars97. And go ahead and like us on Facebook or Real Mobile Cup of Joe for your latest mobile technology news. Guys, I am your host, Joe Mar, and thank you so much for watching. Have a wonderful day, and I will see you later.